السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته everyone. كيف حالكم? Good, I'm glad that you're all good, alhamdulillah. It's now time for a story, and before we begin a story, we have to find somewhere comfortable to sit. So find a comfortable chair or sit on a sofa in your house, or maybe sit on the bed if it's okay, or sit on the ground and cross your legs. But be comfortable. And before we begin our story today, we will sing a little song. And for the song, you will have to learn to do this. So tap your hands on your lap and then clap. It goes like this. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as quiet as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as loud as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as fast as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as slow as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as low as we can. Hello. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say hello as high as we can. Hello! Did you guys enjoy this song? I really liked it. Now, let's relax before the story by taking 2 deep breaths. So you'll want to raise your arms up and take a deep breath and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let it out. Let's repeat this. Raise your arms up. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it all out. Good job. Now that we're all relaxed and ready for the story, let's begin. Today's story is called Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Told and illustrated by Esphyr, Slobodkina. So if it's the story is written by Esphyr and illustrated by her, so she is yes, good job. She's the author and the illustrator. Now let's start the story. When we start something, we say Bismillah. Good job. Caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, then a bunch of red caps on the very top. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. Caps for sale." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the very top, the red caps. They were all there, so he went to sleep, and he slept for a very long time. And then he woke up. He was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure that his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh no! He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Oh no! Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. What? The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "Yo, monkeys, yo!" he said, shaking a finger at them. "Yo, give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only shook their fingers back and said, This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands. "Yo, monkeys, yo, give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, Now he felt quite angry, so he stamped his foot and he said, "Yo, monkeys, you give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped their feet. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He shouted, he stamped both of his feet, and he shouted, "Yo, monkeys, yo, give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped both of their feet, and they said, And at least he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap and all the gray caps and the brown caps and the blue caps and the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, and carefully, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap, caps for sale." The end. Did you guys like this story? I loved it. Who was the main character in this story? Yes, it was the peddler. Do you know what a peddler means? A peddler is someone who walks from place to place to sell things. So sometimes peddlers will sell clothes or caps, or they will sell socks, or sometimes candy or toys for little kids. And what other characters were there? You're right, the monkeys. And where did this story happen? Was it indoors or outdoors? It was outdoors. At first it was in the town, in the small town, and then he went to the countryside to rest. There were two places in the story, right? And did it happen in the morning or in the night? Morning, remember we saw the sun. Good job, you guys, mashallah, you're really good at this. All right, now let's sing the goodbye song. It sounds exactly like the hello song that we did in the beginning, but instead of saying hello, we'll say goodbye. Okay? Let's begin. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as quiet as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as loud as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as low as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as fast as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as low as we can. Goodbye. Bread and butter, marmalade and jam. Let's say goodbye as high as we can. Goodbye! All excited. Now it's time for me to say assalamu alaikum to you guys. I want you to make sure that you're washing your hands properly and having fun at home. And I will see you in the next story time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.